My name's Michael Rosen, and I write stories and poems, sometimes for young people, sometimes for, well, all ages of people. And I also work here at Goldsmiths, University of London. I'm a professor of children's literature, and I teach on an MA in children's literature. I'm a passionate believer in film, passionate believer in us sharing film across cultures and languages. And when I see that children can make films, and the idea of sharing films across cultures and languages and countries, that seems to me a wonderful way of talking to each other, because films tell stories in many different ways. Film is a very, what we say, visceral way of telling stories. In other words, you feel it in your body, so it's a very emotional, powerful way of telling stories. I always hope that when people read my poems or hear them or see somebody performing it, whether it's me or somebody else, it will work as a way of them being able to think about themselves and where they come from and the kinds of things that they want to do. So it's like a double bounce, that you recognize something in the poem, but then you start recognizing something in yourself. So they're understanding and acknowledging something that I've done, but seeing something in themselves. And I also always hope that the poems are like springboards, that what will happen is that somebody who reads it will think, well, that's not very special, I could write about that. I quite like it when people sort of diminish me and say, well, it's not very special, that sort of thing happened to me. And I always think, then that will be a chance for that person to write themselves. I always hope that they'll take something from it. It doesn't necessarily have to be that they write, but yes, that it does inspire, and that's to say it gives people ideas, and that might be to write, or it might be to do a dance, or it might be to sing, or it might be something in a year's time or 10 years' time. I just performed a poem, and a lady came up to me and she said, did I hear that poem on the radio, or did I hear somebody read it to me? Now, I couldn't answer that question, but she said, I kind of knew it. I knew all of it. Now, what that means is in some way or another, and I consider myself very lucky in that respect, that the words lasted in her mind. She heard the words and they survived in her mind. And so when I did it again, so in a way, I do think that does inspire people, because it stays with them. Some people say that poetry is portable philosophy. That's to say, you can carry it around with you, like you can carry a portable laptop or something like that. The poems give you lines that you can carry around with you. So I hope that maybe some of the lines in my poems are ones that people can carry around with them to inspire them, yes. I could well imagine myself coming back to the film festival. I hope very much that I'll be invited, not necessarily to read my own poems or anything, but just to watch the films. I've seen and been to various young people's film festivals in the past. There's a big competition that I've been to. And so, yes, I always enjoy it, always like it, and I hope that I'll be invited.